please introduce yourself and let us everybody know what you do and who you serve.
My name is Jurnell Cockhren. I'm the president and founder of Civic Hacker. We build technology for public good. Have been doing so for over 12 years here in Nashville, Tennessee.
I love that slogan, but what exactly do you do?
Well, we look at all of the social issues that vulnerable communities experience, and we use the tech know-how that we have to find unique solutions to those problems. Sometimes it looks like building a website. Sometimes it looks like building a mobile app. Sometimes it's looking like analyzing data. Sometimes it looks like working with a community organization to give hackathons to teach people. Sometimes it's contributing to the federal government and helping them understand how to keep us safe with AI. Is really about positioning ourselves with all these anchor community organizations that's trying to serve people and being their technical advisors or giving them tech services or being their kind of people on the inside when it comes to big tech. We're basically the kind of inside people when it comes to influencing emerging technologies.
I love that. And how did you get into that work?
Well, because I'm a self-taught engineer and I studied math and physics, and I always wanted to find a way to use my talents to make a positive impact. And none of the consultancy firms or tech firms back in the day really did that. And so I wanted to make a space to really solve those problems because I feel like the social issues are some of the most challenging problems, and I enjoy solving hard problems.
Absolutely. And so one thing about what I've seen in your work is your accuracy of news telling. Talk to us about why it's important to do our due diligence and seeking accurate information.
Well, I think part of that issue is that we have this tool called social media, and we've learned over the multiple decades we've used it is that it kind of hurts us collectively. It does have some positive points, right? It at least told us that we can make connections across the world and stuff like that. Look at old pictures with grandma, I guess. But we also see that it's not really a place for truth. It's not a place for all types of conversations. Sometimes it's hard to talk with people who have different opinions. And that's largely due to the algorithms and the way the platform creators monetize the tool that you use. Um, my background, it's a part of my background is in astronomy and neuroscience. And so I wrote visual experiments back in the day to help study how the human brain and auditory system responds to that types of information. And so from the research I've done and with like how social media has been used over the time, we see that it's having a negative impact on the brain. It's hurting our mental health. It prevents us from making good decisions. And a part of making good decisions is having accurate information. So if you can't go to social media to make good decisions because you're emotionally charged and they don't give you the information, then you're hamstrung from making reasonable decisions. You can't go vote. You might not vote. You might not even help your community. You might not be aware that there's services that you could use in your community to better yourself and better your family. Or you may not see the opportunities to contribute to your community as well. And so I believe when it comes to being able to be better decision makers collectively, having a good source of news sources help with that. Also, we see that the way in which the social media kind of changed all of our behaviors on how we use things online. So there was a massive change in behavior of corporate companies putting information online, whereas everything was like an ad basically. And all the posts on social media, regardless if it's an ad for a user, the social media platforms make them all look the same to increase the amount of chances you click on that paid ad because that's how they make money, right? So they're not incentivized to give you the full context, right? You have to pay X and other platforms to be able to type a long message because sometimes you need that context to understand a link, to understand the image. Most of the comments are repeated that you see. There's a lot of bot forums, so you're interacting with a lot of bots, so you're not getting the value and the depth of understanding of the content that's on there. So what it seems to us is that with Hack on the News, we're providing you a place to give you access to independent journalism. So not just large corporate companies, but the independent journalists, the local news stations. We're getting ready to add public radio. Also, we're going to do podcasts very soon. They're already live on the app right now. And people will be able to see the data sources and primary sources that are related to the topics in the articles. So if there's a major thing around abuse of power by government agencies, you're going to see the primary sources of those documents from our machines and our humans curating the information. You're going to see data sources that are related to it. If you're seeing an article about Medicare and Medicaid, you're going to have access to the data just underlying that sort of like information as well. And so we think this is going to give people the ability to first just take a break from social media. It's not an app where we're trying to mine all your attention. Like on social media, they want you to spend all your time on there. They're making money for every single second you spend on there looking at their silly app. With Hack on the News, all you have to do is check in once or twice a week. And if you don't, we'll just send you an email on Friday saying, here's the top things from the news. And we're not, there's not any weird like marketing links. All you got to do is just act. It gives you direct access to the journalist content. You can subscribe to them directly. And we just want you to be informed.
Amazing. Where can we follow you and your work?
You can follow us on LinkedIn at Civic Hacker. You can follow us on Facebook at Civic Hacker. You can also go to civichacker.com. You can follow us on the blog. We have at Civic Hacker, tell you about all our escapades spanning all type of social issues. Right now, we're working and collaborating with the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the NIST. We happen to design AI regulation. We're also working with civil society organizations to help them figure out like how to use AI in ways that are beneficial to communities that are in need and the organizations that serve them. And so we're trying to find all the positive ways to use emerging technology to empower the people so that we can be able to be the ultimate kind of deciders and crafters and developers of the world around us, hopefully for a better.
Thank you so much.